Welcome everyone. Today is Friday, February 23 for me here in New Zealand. For many of you, it'll be Thursday, February 22nd. This is the fortnightly SIG at CD community meeting. Just to recap, we have an open agenda for this meeting. There is a Google Doc that anyone can edit provided you have subscribed to the etcd Dev Google Groups mailing list. So if we have a look at our agenda, first up, just a quick question about Google Summer of Docs. So the CNCF, if we jump into this link here, the CNCF has been accepted as a Google Summer of Code mentoring org, and there's also Google Summer of Docs.
Okay, yeah, let me actually interrupt you. It's Google Season of Docs, and it's actually kind of important because the two programs are really different.
Oh.
Google Summer of Code is a student internship thing.
Mm-hmm.
Google Season of Docs is Google tries to find a professional tech writer for you.
Gotcha.
And importantly, does not require a mentor, just requires an approver. So we will be participating in Season of Docs. I've been working with Nate on this, and I'm ready to act as approver for that. And that's part of the CNCF tech writers general thing of helping us improve our docs. If we actually get accepted to the program, then I'll openly solicit, because if we can get somebody from our community who's available to write the docs on contract, we're going to be able to do a whole lot more than a tech writer who doesn't know etcd.
Gotcha. Okay, so it sounds like Josh has this all in hand and it's all under control. Thanks, Josh.
But not Summer Code, so you should continue with Summer.
So, two separate programs, thanks for the clarification. Do we want to be trying to put something forward for Summer of Code as well? And if so, perhaps Josh, again, you probably know a lot more about this program than I. What does the requirement look like from our side?
So the requirement is that we would like pretty much immediately, as in this week. Well, no, it says March 18th. Huh. Okay. I thought the deadline was much sooner than that. So, but very soon, before KubeCon, would need to have a project that an intern could work on, technical project that an intern could work on, and somebody who's willing to be their mentor and another person who's willing to be a backup mentor. So that's pretty much it. And the mentor's the more critical part, right? There's plenty of stuff around it. See, we have plenty of help wanted issues. If we have, two people who are willing to participate in mentoring, we can find stuff that we can put on there.
Gotcha. Okay. And I think some of the challenge with some of our help wanted issues and some of that material is it's not always clear how to proceed. Like we know roughly what needs to get, like what needs to happen, but the steps in between are often the hard part. So there'd be a fair bit of qualification required to make sure it's something that someone could actually work on with a little bit of autonomy and obviously with the support of a mentor. Okay, so the question becomes, what would we pick out for that? And maybe I don't want to spend all of this session kind of digging into it. We've got triage and community, obviously, further meetings coming up before the 18th. Do you know how long the proposals, like how much you have to write up, Josh?
You really want it. Let's see. Right there. You basically have that. So.
Okay, that's pretty light. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, the critical part is finding the mentors, and that's the main reason why projects end up not participating, right? Is because, particularly, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Being a Google Summer of Code mentor means spending a significant amount of time over the summer with the mentee. So
Yeah.
I'd say really it's kind of a minimum of 2 to 3 hours a week for the whole summer.
Gotcha.
With probably a couple of bursts of spending longer periods of time. So, so if people are interested in that, then that's sort of your time commitment there. And I think we can then pick what technical projects we want to offer based on who is willing to mentor, right? Because it has to be something that they know.
Yeah. And just adding to that, we've got the existing mentoring program, so there'll be some kind of crossover there in terms of like you wouldn't want to overload someone. Okay, so I don't want to get to the bottom of that today. It sounds like we've got some really positive stuff happening there around Season of Docs, which is awesome. Thank you, Josh. And for Summer of Code, let's revisit that and just folks have a think about if there's something that you would like to pursue under that. Okay, next up, rewrite of RW heat maps. Ivan, take it away.
Hello. Okay. Unmuting works. Cool. So yeah, I worked with you basically, trying to, so you assign me this task. So basically the idea was to re-implement this from Python and do a Go implementation. There was an attempt by Benjamin before, but I think it was, so the scope was a little bit bigger than just like a pure rewrite of the tool that generates these heat maps. So I did like a proof of concept. I don't know if it's like at the point of like it's a complete replacement. There's some things that can't be done in Go. For example, so very clearly you can see that. So first of all, it's like more beautiful, of course, the Python the charts, and it also has like these triangles. There's not an equivalent in Go. I'm using GoNum plot that seems to be like a widely used library. However, there's no equivalent of that. So what I did was just to do a simple heat map. So it doesn't have the triangles, but I think it works pretty similar to the original implementation. So in the pull request, I drafted the pull request. I didn't undraft it yet because I believe maybe I would really appreciate pass at the code and maybe also the directory structure, the file structure. I don't know if I went too deep in creating like so many different files. But yeah, that's a little bit the introduction of what this pull request is about.
Awesome.
So yeah, James, I don't know if you want to add something else.
I was just going to say, I think something that this kind of lines up with the kind of higher plan of work to be able to schedule some of these tools like Benchmark and RW heat maps on a regular basis through Proud Jobs, and then just use like a GitHub Pages static site or something to aggregate the results over time visually so that you can then sort of see regressions easily, kind of similar to the tooling for Kubernetes. Looking at the scalability benchmarks over time. So it'd be awesome to kind of get this to a point where we're kind of happy with it and start scheduling it to run frequently. So the invitation is there, team. We need a bit more review. I think it's a great first iteration, and it's something that we can kind of build off moving forward and sort of add more features to. We obviously haven't wanted to touch the old Python one because it's Python. It doesn't really line up with the etcd code base. So the invitation is there, team. Thank you. Thanks, Ivan.
Yeah, this is Benjamin. Yeah, just one comment. please upload the original CSV file into
Okay.
the PR, so we
Mhm.
can compare the original CSV file with the diagram.
Okay.
This is the first comments. The second comments, I do a similar PR to. I think this PR and my original PR, both PR remove the dependence on the Python, which is good. But personally, I'm not a big fan of the heat map. Probably is my bias. So if you open my original PR, it's a line chart. Yeah, I think it's more clear. It's more clear because we can get both because for example, we can compare two branch. We can get the data, the two line for both branch in the one chart. It's more clear. Let me send you to the link. I sent it in the chat.
So
Can you open?
I think,
take a quick
yeah,
look.
yeah, I'll open that up. I think,
Anyway, I will add a comment to summarize the good side, bad side of both PR and I'm open to the community, the opinion from the community. I will CC all the maintainers and the members to vote which PR is better. I'm open to the opinion of the community.
I think in terms of goals, I'm not super invested in either the heat maps or the line graph. I'm more interested in getting the rewrite done so that we can then iterate further. I think it'll be easier to get just a rewrite of the original functionality merged versus trying to do both things at once. In terms of the visualization, I feel like it can sort of come later. It's about getting the values and getting the thing regularly schedulable first, and then we can decide how to visualize data later on. That's my view.
Yeah. Anyway, I will add a comment summarize the good side or bad side. Another comment I recall in the original heat map implementation, there is a diagram to summary. For example, what's the game against the previous for example, there's a 20% performance improvement or 20% downgrades. There's high level diagram, but I didn't see the diagram in this PR.
Okay.
Yeah, what James proposed makes sense. I mean, visualization can be added as an option. I think the goal of migration is what we should focus on. I don't think there is a big concern of having two visualization forms, at least for now. So I think we can continue. So if there's any lacking features, like Benjamin mentioned about comparing results, let's add it to the review and let's clearly point them out, what is still missing, so we can everyone can decide whether we are okay with the trade-off, like, or are we okay with migrating now or later. I think it's already like showing promise and definitely should help us automate the benchmarking further. So thank you very much, Ivan, for working on this. Let's get it reviewed and merged. I don't think there is a big concern for like you said, for the directory. We can work it through. I think it makes sense. High level, we can figure out the details later.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, team. So yeah, let's try and get that reviewed a bit further. Next one, I just wanted to talk about 3.6 roadmap for a little bit. So I think there's a bunch of things in here that are making good progress, which is awesome. Obviously 3.6, everyone knows, has been a long time in progress in development. And when I was looking at this yesterday, I'm just wondering, in the interest of trying to get 3.6 out as soon as possible, but still, not kind of sacrifice the really critical stuff around like downgrade and live Z, ready Z, and etc. Should we consider moving the graduation of the experimental features, experimental flags, to 3.7?
To clarify, maybe it's not about graduating, it's evaluation is important. So evaluation, we should decide what do we do with the features we promised to graduate 2 or 3 releases ago. So I think this is pretty, at least high level. It's bad for users, or there are many cases where users are scared or afraid or not sure whether what they can configure on etcd, because most of the things that, for example, Kubernetes currently recommends to configure is still experimental, but it's not experimental because we haven't released 3.6. It's experimental because someone added it in 3.3 and we didn't have any graduation process. So we need to make this decision what to do with the features and what to do with the flags, because if we also graduate it, we will potentially break users by removing the graduate experimental flag prefix. So we should make decisions. It was not very prioritized because it's mostly about evaluation, not necessarily. So it's not. I don't think there was a lot of interest in this issue before.
Yeah. Okay.
We can just decide to keep some flags as graduated or graduated in. We can just evaluate most of the flags that they're good enough to graduate, but finish most of the work could be still done in 3.7. That's why it's mentioned that it affects both in 3.6 and 3.7.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. We should evaluate all the experimental feature in the first step.
So I would be happy to help with this. I think I'm just a little unclear what our criteria would need to be to then go, hey, we're happy to graduate this. I know we have a bunch of issues, so maybe would it help if I just pick one and then just go through it, look at the testing, look at how often it's used? I mean, what kind of criteria is most important to you two, American and Benjamin?
What you described.
Yeah, I think we have already existing documentation about this. They have documentation.
Yeah. Do we have do we have documentation for the feature? Is anyone using it in production? Do we see it working, or no one ever used it? And third, do we have any test for it? Because those features tended to launch without any tests because they were experimental. Yeah. So I think that's 3 criteria that we can that should be complete.
I can start.
I mean, I'd also throw in the general PRR maintainability requirement of, hey, if we make changes to the feature in the future, do we actually have a good way to do that?
Okay. That actually gives me something to work to. I can start working with that. Thanks, team. Okay, conscious of time, we've got about 10 minutes. Nitish.
Yeah, so I was just it's a general update over the things. So I assigned myself the issue about deflaking the CDS that have been open for a longer period of time. So I got in contact with Swan, and we have pretty much divided the work, at least the starting points on what we need to figure out and how to proceed with the things. So this is a general update that I'll be starting with migrating the existing etcd test to generate the JUnit report. So this is a general update, and anything else that I should keep in mind for solving this issue?
Yes. So, and on the last, I know James you missed, but I provided an update because Nitish asked. So for me, highlight, like we should keep in mind the goal, which is to have easy visibility and trackability of flakes, which for now I proposed to focus on JUnit because we assume we will need JUnit whatever reports, no matter what solution we pick. I think the best thing to keep in mind is we now are part of broader community of Kubernetes, and we should utilize and collaborate with existing with other part of the community which focuses on testing, SIG testing, which focuses on testing infrastructure and testing, or maybe not testing infrastructure, but testing framework and testing like same problems. So I would hope that we can either use, at least we will use the test grid to have a nice visualization tool for the results. But maybe we could ask them what is on their site, what are they planning, or what do they personally use for finding flags, because maybe not everyone in the community is aware of those practices. So maybe going to them and asking them about best practices directly could give us more idea where is that, like, and what is the end goal, what is the what direction we could go.
So I will get in touch with the SIG testing and then see if there's existing ways we can use to automate the whole flaky detection.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, team. Okay, yeah, I mean, awesome if we can move towards test grid as visualization. Works pretty well. Yeah, SIG testing meeting sounds like a good idea. Over to Josh. Did we get a kiosk at KubeCon? I believe so. We have a spreadsheet.
And so that morphs
which needs some
into
names.
Yeah, that morphs into a reminder of, hey, if you're going to KubeCon Paris, we need you to sign up for shifts. We have a full-time kiosk, which means a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
And I will next week I will be going over my entire schedule for KubeCon and filling in when I can fill in there. And please, other people do the same.
Yeah,
so our kiosk is well covered.
Just to maybe reminder or check, is the t-shirt size a new column, or was it before? And like how to motivate people?
Yeah, does someone else have a supply of t-shirts for this? Because I will not for Paris.
Oh, okay.
I bought a bunch of t-shirts using Red Hat money last KubeCon, but I don't have that money this KubeCon.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll figure out and look discuss whether we can find a sponsor for swag for etcd community. Yeah.
Just in addition to the kiosk setup team, I believe we will also have a SIG etcd table at the Meet the Kubernetes Contributor Community event. I think it goes for about an hour or so during KubeCon, and a whole lot of the SIGs and working groups and tags kind of get together and have a table each and sort of roundtable discussions. So come along to that if you're keen.
Yeah, It's 2 hours during lunch, I believe. You don't necessarily have to stay there for the whole 2 hours. We just want to have someone there rotationally for the full time.
One more thing. I talked to Wenja, and Wenja submitted a SIG face-to-face also during the contributor summit.
Yes, I did see that come through. Awesome. Thank you to Wengia for kind of organizing that. So prior to the KubeCon main event, for anyone that can come along to the Kubernetes Contributor Summit, yes, we will have a face-to-face catch up there. So that is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, if you are an etcd contributor and you have not yet registered as a Kubernetes org member, now is the time, because you need to be an org member to get into the Contributor Summit. And we had special provisions in Chicago, but they won't be doing the special provisions now. But what we can do is that we can, if you've applied for your Kubernetes org membership, we can get you an exception so you can attend the Contributor Summit. But you need to apply. And if anybody doesn't understand how any of that works, ping me in Slack.
Awesome. Thanks, team. In the grand total of like 1 minute left, I will very quickly go to Bogdan to talk about adding a Codebase member for a cancel reason in watch response.
Okay, so there was a comment from Benjamin at the end. So I think the question is, it seems that we're proceeding with this approach. So then there is no need to actually try to fix it. Also, I put a list of alternatives linked in the community doc. Or if you go about list of alternatives. So the question, I guess, for Benjamin, and I think there's a pushback in terms of doing this retry the way I proposed it. I had a PR also originally. So I guess like if the pushback, then I don't see point of like, you know, trying to work around this or like proceed with discussion if you guys already want to do the client retry. Or meaning like the whoever uses already retries in the client. So if you already kind of already know that that's what you want, then I don't see the point of you know. For us, I think it's like
open. It's open. It's still open to discussion. But for now, it's not a major. It's not a critical or not even major issue because we have workaround. And the second part is Kubernetes is impacted by this issue, so it's not a major issue. So it's open, but the solution is not a priority, but it's open to discussion. If you have any better proposal, feel free to add comments. It's open to discussion.
I had a doc. I'll link it again with the list of you know, options that we can do.
Yeah, I read the documentation. Yeah, my summary is I read the doc before I added the summary. Probably this purpose one is we just do nothing, just that application to retry. So yeah, anyway, it's not a urgent task for now, but it's open to discussion.
Okay, well, let's so I guess like what do you want me to, so I personally I would like to see the option 3, but you know, if but that's just my kind of, you know, opinion, I guess. So I want to make sure that if there's something else I need to provide here, I also linked your suggestion there. So anyway, if there's some work I need to do here, I can do it. But you know, if there's a resistance, I don't want to. I'd rather, you know, go with.
Yeah, we can have more discussion offline. Yeah, it's run out of time. Yeah, you know, we still need to discuss the details. because you add a retry, we need to add a new field in the protocol, it changes the protocol. So we don't want
Yeah,
to
that's right.
change the protocol as much as possible. We don't want to change the protocol. But retry, but
I agree.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, team.
Um,
Sorry, I probably do need to
Yeah,
jump in and
that's
say
fine.
we are
Okay,
a few
I'll,
minutes.
Sounds like a fun topic for the face-to-face in-person SIG meeting. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So long story short, look, we just need to get to the bottom of it and come up with a decision that can work for everyone. Maybe we can talk about it next month when we're all together face to face, or in the interim async. So thanks everyone for coming along to the session today. We've got another session next week, which will be a triage meeting, which is a great way to kind of get started with the project if you're new. Hope to see you there. Thanks everyone for coming along today. Cool. We'll call it there. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Bye.